Hello and welcome to College Steps. We are a transition service provider and we're working to support students to achieve success in post-secondary education, work, and life. My name is Nancy and I am Regional Director for the New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut area. And I'm excited to walk through our program and how we can provide transition services to your students. So today we're going to talk about what we do, how we do it, and where we are located. So we are a community-based transition service provider. High schools can contract with us to offer services to students. We are student-centered. We are creating a program that will work for an individual in achieving their own personalized goal. We are also focused on peer inclusion. All of our sessions are occurring in and around a college campus, and we're working to support students in all areas of college life. We do this by rallying a student's team around them. We create a structured support system, a schedule, a plan for the student, and we're always communicating with their team, and that would include their high school if their high school is contracted with us. And we're located at a growing number of campuses up and down the East Coast, including we are now offering services through our expanded virtual academy. So we work in partnership with many different pieces of a student's transition into college or adult life. So high schools can contract with us to implement a student's transition goals. And when that happens, we become a part of the student's IEP team. And the high school also becomes part of a student's college steps team. We also work in very close partnership with our college. College campuses provide our program coordinators with an office on campus and access to their staff and systems so that we may support students in accessing the services that are already available on a college campus. We also recognize and understand that families are a very important part of a student's transition into adulthood. So we make sure that they're included in all parts of our program and that we have communication systems that allow them to continue to support their student. We also work very closely with community agencies that are already working with the student to continue to create that bridge from high school to college and adult life. Here is a visual of all of our growing campuses, but as I said, we're growing all the time, so feel free to look that up at our locations. We are located in Massachusetts, Vermont, Virginia, New Jersey, Connecticut, and New York. So as I shared, we are very focused on creating individualized support to take what a student has learned in high school, the support they received in their IEP, and we're creating an individualized program for them that will help them successfully transition to college and beyond. The way we do that is through our College Steps team. We have a staff on campus that includes our campus program coordinator, our instructional coordinator, a support specialist, and peer mentors. Our campus program coordinator is seen as the traditional case manager at a high school campus. They take on managing the students' services and coordinating amongst their many different team members. They are making sure that students receive a schedule that details how they are spending each day and how our mentors will support our students. We also have on staff instructional coordinators and support specialists. These are team members who are experts in the services our students need and can also support our mentors in real time on any support they need in implementing the sessions. Instructional coordinators are also developing curriculums that will help our students learn the skills they need to be successful in college. One of the most important pieces of our program is our peer mentors. Peer mentors are who students are spending a majority of their time with. They're other college students who have been hired, trained, and paid by us to help students in our 4 key areas. We're going to go into more detail about how each of these team members support students on a day-to-day basis, but it's important to give an overview of who our College Steps team is on campus. Our College Steps team works in partnership with a student's IEP team, their family, as well as the campus-based supports to make sure a student is getting a full wraparound of services. So the very first thing we're going to do once you've been accepted into College Steps is we're going to pull that whole team together, the College Steps team, as well as the students team. So for high school transition service students, this is going to look very similar to their IEP team with the addition of College Steps. So a district case manager will be invited, the parents will be invited, and anybody else who would be helpful in supporting the student in this transition. Our campus program coordinator leads this discussion after reviewing all the students' documentation from their high school, as well as reviewing our admissions documentation, including our interview. And they're going to work with the team to create what is the plan for this student in college. We support in 4 key areas that includes academics, social integration, independent living, and pre-employment transition services. And the program coordinator is going to walk the team through each of these 4 key areas to determine if a student is successful in any of these areas, what support do they still require, and how can peer mentors or our other campus staff support the student with filling those gaps. We're going to go into more detail about what happens in each of these sections in a moment. But the key quote that I absolutely love from a parent, this really summarizes our goals when putting together this individual college plan. It says, I really appreciate how College Steps looks at the student as an individual and designs a program specific to their needs. My son sees a future at college, fulfilling his dream. He feels with College Steps he can achieve it. I do too. And that's really the crux of what we're trying to do in the Individualized College Plan or ICP meeting. We're trying to empower the student with the support they need to be successful in achieving their college or adult goals. So in our academic enrichment sessions, mentors will be paired with a student to review their academic goals that will lead to getting employment in the long run. This support can look like in-classroom support or out of the classroom support, and it is a team-based decision. After the student identifies their classes, the program coordinator will work with the team to determine if in-classroom support is needed in up to 1 course. The students team will also determine what it would be most beneficial for the mentor to support with a student within class, whether it's taking notes, making social connections, or using the resources that are available in the classroom. We help students through every step of registering for their college class, and it's important to note that students can take these classes for credit, audit, or non-credit. Outside of the classroom, peer mentors are working with students in academic enrichment sessions to create connections to the natural campus supports, such as accommodations or counseling. They're also working with them on organization skills. How do you be a college student is pretty much the bulk of what our students need help with when they're making that transition from high school. Mentors are also providing supportive study time and note review with the students, pretty much guiding them on what they have learned as a college student. And we're careful not to call our mentors tutors. They come from various different degree-seeking programs, and they may not be an expert in all of the content areas our students are engaging in. So our mentors know when they've reached their limit in being able to assist the student, and then they'll help the student access the amazing resources that are already available on campus. So maybe the mentor and the student will decide they need a professor's help. So the mentor will help the student with setting up an appointment with the professor, or maybe setting up an appointment with the tutoring center. Our mentors are scheduled to work with students not just on academics, but on social skills as well. So we encourage our students to become active members of the campus community, and who better to support them in making those connections than another college student. So mentors will be scheduled for shifts with students to just hang out on campus, just like any college student would do, to go to the game room or participate in an event that's happening on campus. And we also make sure to help them get access to all the great campus facilities, the hall, the dining hall, the sporting events, the clubs, the workout facilities, all of these places where any college student will be hanging out. And mentors can also support students in more structured sessions, going to a club every week or going to specific campus events. And mentors are really the best people to support our students in social language of the college setting and understanding the different social norms, how you act in a classroom is different than how you act in the game room, and helping students make the best choice for them in social situations. We also make sure to cover independent living skills with our students. This is a formal class taught by our instructional coordinator or our support specialist, and it is taught via a curriculum that the instructional coordinator has put together. We review all of the most important executive functioning skills needed by a college student, including time management and organization, managing stress and uncertainty, and everything on that list is something a college student can use. In addition to our own curriculum on many campuses, we're helping students access the services on campus that will allow them to work on this. So for example, at Kane University, some of our students are able to work with the occupational therapy clinic. At other campuses, there are many different services available to students, and we work to get our students access to those same services. And then lastly, we make sure to schedule our students for sessions with mentors to review pre-employment skills. Again, this is customized in that individual college plan process. We are evaluating what the student is ready for in this area. And we may focus on providing them with those pre-employment skills, such as resume building, cover letters, interview skills, or perhaps the student is ready for some career exploration, some work experiences, and we're working to provide them support with what they're most interested in. So once the student's team gets together and creates that individualized college plan, the program coordinator is going to take all that information back. They're going to take the student's college course and they're going to start to make their own scheduling recommendations. So they're going to advise the team on what a schedule of mentor support should look like. And the program coordinator is thinking through what level of support does this student need from our program for each of these sessions. So all of our students receive program coordinator support directly from our program coordinator. That is done during our weekly path and planning sessions with students, but that's also done on an as needed basis. So you can see that in this example from a part-time student. They are meeting with the program coordinator during this path and planning time from 2:30 to 3:30 every day, every week. But most of our students are ready for a schedule built out with almost all peer mentor directed support or student self-directed support. So mentors are scheduled for all of these other colored shifts, and they're working with students to identify what they need to work on as it aligns to their goal. So you can see this student gets some in-class academic support, and then they have other sessions later in the day where they work with the student outside of the classroom on different sessions. And then our goal is to evaluate the student's readiness for independent sessions. And so there may be times where the student gets some time on campus to explore campus on their own, maybe take on going to a class or going to a club on their own. And we work with the team to evaluate when these opportunities would be best for the student. And something important to note is that in-class support is limited to one course per semester, and it's based on the evaluation of need from the College Steps team. So we're going to take a look at this next example. This is a full-time student, and you can see these white blocks. This student is taking more than one class, but the team has determined that the student does not require support for these classes. So these white blocks show that the student is attending classes on their own, and the peer mentor support is being focused outside of the classroom. But even though this student is very independent, they're still getting that one-on-one time with the program coordinator every week on Wednesdays at 12 o'clock. So we've talked a lot about our peer mentors. I just want to dive in a bit about who they are and what training they receive. So in our program, we're really focused on making our peer mentorships something that's valuable for the peer mentors in addition to the students. And we really look at it as training the next generation of helping professionals. Our peer mentors are just wonderful people. They are usually majoring in human services related fields, and we're working with them to provide peer-based support, which means we're training them to offer adult support, and it's also consent-based. So they can't force students to do things. And there's no consequences like there are in high school, where you're going to get a call home or you're going to go to the principal's office. Mentors are able to provide the support to the students and help them become their own experts in their experience. We also train our mentors to work really closely with students on self-advocacy so that the student is the one leading requests for support from anyone outside of our program. And our mentors are trained to focus on independence and inclusion. They're going to work with the student to make sure they're being included around campus and that they're experimenting with independence as it comes up naturally in the day-to-day. We also work with mentors to make sure that they know what students' goals are and that they're working with them and they're using students' goals to make informed decisions during sessions. Mentors are modeling executive functioning skills. So some of these skills are things students have been hearing about since high school, but the mentors are really modeling it for them, showing them what works for them. And our mentors are also working to create social connections. So the entire experience of college steps is socially enriching because they're mostly working with a peer to access all the different services we're providing. And mentors build really strong and authentic relationships with our students so that we're continue to provide really high quality services to our students, and they're able to build those social connections that they need. So once we get that individualized college plan, I talked about how strong our communication systems are. We're working really hard to make sure that the student is able to get the support they need on a day-to-day basis, and we're able to report out what's going well for the students, what barriers they may have, so the whole team can rally around them to create success. So after the individualized college plan meeting, the program coordinator will schedule the student for a weekly one-on-one meeting with them in which they every week review the ICP goals and make adjustments based on the student's current struggles or successes. And all of those notes are recorded in a weekly summary, which all of the ICP team members have access to, including the high school for district supported students and the family. And then we bring that whole team again, including the high school district manager, into the monthly meeting where we are discussing the progress the student has made and make a plan around any barriers to achieving success. This is an example of some of the data we're collecting. In addition to our work side by side with students, we are collecting data to continue to evaluate how we can tweak our program to make it work for each individual. So guess what? You get to apply today. If you're a student who's interested, if you are a district who has a student who is interested in applying, it's important to stress with them that our priority applications are due by March 1st. Many of our programs do end up with a waiting list. But if you're a district who's interested in contracting with us for support, please reach out to our admissions team. We will help you identify students or share any requests, referrals, evaluations on the number of students you can offer, whether our services would be a great match for a student. We can also review more closely our roles and responsibilities within the IEP team, transportation questions, and our campus costs. And then we will also talk through what commitment you as a district are making and what the contract would look like. Once a student is ready, we will work with them to connect with our admissions team through our contact form, and we will ask them to attend a webinar very much like this one. We do then have an application process where the student would submit documentation, including their IEP, their transcript, and they would answer a few short answer questions. And then after that, they would be invited to the interview. The team is included in part of the interview. So there is some one-on-one time with the student, but a high school district representative and the parent would be invited to the second half of the interview so we can learn more about the student. Once a student is enrolled in our program, accepted into our program, we work very closely with them to finish up their campus enrollment so that they can take a course on campus. So if you have some students or you think your district could benefit from working with College Steps as a transition service provider, please feel free to contact us through our website contact form or directly email admissions at College Steps. Our admissions team is very active throughout this process. So if you reach out to them, they will be able to connect with you as soon as possible to learn more about what you're looking for. Thank you.